Welcome back to the Andrea Giovino show, and today we're going to jump into DEA infiltration.
And DEA crackdown.
Let's get into it.
All right.
So, I know I've dealt with the DEA, and when you deal with the DEA, you're dealing with the real deal. They don't play games.
Nah, the Drug Enforcement Agency ain't no joke. They put a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of resources into getting you when they want you. And I know you know all too well how that plays out. So,
yeah, I mean, I think that any government agency has the money that they put into infiltrating, and they go to all lengths. So when people say, you have a federal investigation on you, you can bet they have a lot on you. You can bet these people are above, like they're well educated.
So you were being watched, I believe, for 18 months.
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah.
They had a team assigned to the block, because I remember there was a team of guys that
for
were
our
assigned
case, just
to
for
the
that
block.
case. Yeah, just for that case.
And for approximately 18 months,
Right.
they were listening to phone calls.
Yeah.
They were watching from down the street. I
They,
was told.
I mean, I don't want to talk about my case because I've done this already on another podcast, but I just really wanted to get into how the federal government, let's even say, the case with P. Diddy, how they infiltrated and waited till they had enough evidence against him to bring it to the front line.
Yeah, so this is part of the reason why I believe he's probably guilty, just based on the fact that when they go after you that hard, they generally have a mountain of stuff on you.
100%.
And then you have all of these other celebrities, coming out, saying stuff. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been following the case close enough to really know what's going on, but I do know that when you're under a federal investigation, generally they don't waste their time, money, and resources on BS.
No.
Or gossip or hearsay.
They don't waste their time on hearsay. They have to have solid fact of. I mean, if we started with DEA, DEA has to have solid fact of drugs. Drugs. I can't just say, oh yeah, Toby's a drug dealer and he has 20 pounds of cocaine in his house. Well, how do we prove this?
They got witnesses.
Yeah.
They got evidence.
But they have to see. They have to know. And a lot of times they have to have two cooperating witnesses to make it more like fact worthy for them to come and try to
get an indictment.
get an indictment and go in front of a grand jury to be able to get a judge to get indictments on people. And I believe to what my knowledge is today, in that going back to when I was arrested, was it's so much better today because of the technology they have today.
Well, back then, they
didn't have...
So when you're talking 30 years ago, 30 plus years ago, right? I remember them telling me they could hear what you're saying a block away.
Now it's much better. Now it's even better.
Yeah. So now the cameras are better, the listening devices are better, the technology is better.
Yeah.
It's a whole different world.
You got to be a moron to be a criminal today, because
difficult.
I always feel everybody is good at something. I don't care if you have no education. You could be a good pizza maker. You could be a good painter. You could be a good anything. Foreigners come here. And they learn a trade. You could be a great landscaper, an artist, whatever it is.
What I noticed about a lot of criminals is they are
and
smart.
A lot of them are talented.
They're talented, they're smart, but they're using their energy in the wrong place. They should be using it for business. They should be using it for doing things positive and the right thing. And they're just making that bad choice. Because they don't
know any better.
They don't know any better.
But I believe that, you're not getting away with it. You might, and every attorney, the prosecutor, I meant to say, every prosecutor or district attorney knows when we catch you, we know you committed this crime 200 times before.
And how is that? They're watching you.
They know
they're
it. They know
infiltrating you.
criminals. They know the criminal mind.
They're listening. Again, the point that I was making, they're also following you with from one car to the next. Sometimes it's multiple cars following one car, and they have a trail that they follow to, and they radio back and forth to each other.
And they say, now you pick up, right, and they're in it could be a Ford Focus, and then they call the SUV Toyota and say, now you pick up the follow and you go. So you really don't know when you're being followed.
And then the cars that are in front of the house and the people that are in front of the house, they switch and they change.
Well, they had,
so they could be using the same car with different people on different days.
When they were investigating me, they told me later on they had two at the time, because back in New York it's called Con Edison. Where I live, it's called Pico Energy. They had two Con Edison trucks that they had. Okay. And they were in the car making believe that they were doing street electrical work. That's how good they are. And this is 30-something years ago in 1992. Imagine what they could do today. Please don't be a criminal. Don't be a criminal today.
I remember a crew of guys. I remember having this in my head.
Because you're going to be the loser.
They rolled up in a broken down car on the side of the house. All right. I don't remember if there was 4 or 5 guys out there. Okay. And pop open the hood like the car was overheating, and they were watching things. I remember asking them. I thought they were broken down. I remember thinking back at the time, oh, maybe these guys need a hand. You guys need any water or anything like that for the car? Because it looked like it overheated. When I look back, I believe it was agents watching the house.
Sure.
Because the whole scenario just didn't make a whole lot of sense, and knowing that they were watching the house at that point in time and what was going on and the age of these guys.
And I do have, I'm going to be honest today, 30 years later, and being mature and being grown, I have a lot of respect for law enforcement. I do. Mm-hmm. Because they go to school, they do their job. It's nothing personal against you. And they're trying to stop people from committing crimes. Because especially in the drug world, bodies come up.
Drugs lead to murder.
Yeah.
So again, DEA is not just investigating drugs; they're investigating
murders.
They're
investigating murders. So these guys, they're not the bad guy. They're actually coming in and trying to clean out the neighborhood and trying to clean up the stuff, mm-hmm. And from my own experience, again, they give everybody the opportunity to do the right thing. To do the right thing, you either tell the truth or don't. Now, people always say, oh, Andrea and Giovino cooperated. If I cooperated, I'd be saying it right now. I didn't have to cooperate. Yeah. I always say that. I never had to cooperate.
So I'll tell you about one of my friends who was a high level, one of the top DEA agents in the country. I believe he had maybe like the number 3 rank in the country. Uh-huh. He's a good friend of mine's brother. He was so deep undercover in the DEA in Colombia, he was like a drug lord. He was a DEA agent set up as a
in another country
as a drug lord kingpin in another country, living in a mansion.
And you know how dangerous that is?
Living in a mansion in another company, set up as a drug lord. That's how deep undercover these guys will go to get whoever they need to get or infiltrate at that time. Because remember, I mean, this stems big, from drug lords to cartels, mm-hmm. to the mafia to gangs. I mean, it's big. And the point that I was making with him is they will go deep and they will spend with deep pockets to get
to where they want to be.
The person that they need to get, it really comes down to the person and the organization that they're affiliated with. Whether it be gangs, mafia, cartels, etc. They will put those resources into getting you. So the biggest thing I always say, because the criminal mind always believes you could get away with it.
Oh, yeah.
You could get away with it. I'm going to go do this and...
Yeah.
They think they could get away with it until they get caught. And when they get caught, the family, as you know, is destroyed. It's
Well,
ruined.
everybody suffers from it.
There's a lot of
it's
suffering.
like everybody
It's
suffers.
not just
from
the
it.
guy in prison or the
Yeah.
girl in prison.
No.
It's the whole family.
The whole
suffers.
family suffers. It's if he has a wife and kids, the wife and kids, and then his extended family, his mom, his dad, his sisters, his brothers, his friends, everybody that cared about that person. On a whole, they say one person getting arrested could affect 22 people, but that's the low number, you know.
22
People.
One person getting arrested could affect
22 people.
Now you take that person that gets arrested and then cooperates. And then all of the families that he's affecting there.
Right.
So it could affect 22 people in his immediate circle.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
But now what about, it's like a snowball effect
it
that could affect who knows how many people.
We could go on and on and on, but we're going to close out because...
Sammy the Bull probably affected 1,000 lives.
Oh, more than that.
I mean...
It snowballed into...
So before you close out, I mean,
snowballed.
you know, when you say 22, I got to jump in on that one for a second.
No, it's anybody that cooperates. It snowballs into like huge stuff and
Yeah.
people suffer. But at the end of the road, people get healthier, they grow, they learn, and hopefully the person incarcerated comes out and does the right thing in life and gets a chance at life and can do the best he could possibly do. And like I said when we started, everybody is good at something, and you just have to find that something. Tune in, please press the subscribe button.
Hit that subscribe
And we will
button.
see you next time.
God bless.
God bless. All right, Laura's
How long was that one?